In my football managing history, I have never had a month just like April. Because usually, big teams talk about congestion. You know, oh no, I've had to play 3 games in the past 2 weeks. Oh, that's a lot of games. What am I gonna do? Well, we have a fixture congestion issue. Because in April, we had a game on the 1st of April, on the 3rd of April, we're having one today on the 5th of April, another one on the 8th of April, and finally another one on the 11th of April. And that's right, that is 5 games in 10 days. Every 2 days, on average, we get a game. And 2 of those games are going to be live for you on this channel where we take on Chelsea in the quarterfinal of the Champions League. This is going to be fun. Hi guys, MrSpaceman reporting for duty and welcome back to the most insane and tiring episode that you have seen ever, and by the end of it I will be most likely dead and so will half my players. We've had a game on the 1st of April, we've had a game on the 3rd of April, and now it's the 5th of April and we're playing Chelsea at home. At least it's at home. Imagine if it was away, we'd have to travel to London, come back, play more games, and what's more awful, we're actually missing a lot of players due to conditions and injury. So Milovanovic is injured, which is not good. He's coming back in 3 days, which you know is 10 games later. By the way that the stupid schedule is done. And Popovic is out for 5 to 10 days as well, which is basically the end of my Champions League run. So that's going to be fun. But I guess let us cover those 2 games. Rotation was key for those 2 games. We've taken on Smederevo, where we managed to beat them 3-0 with goals from Estovao and Saldania. So far so good, especially considering that we had a massive break between the end of March and the start of April. 2 days later, we've taken on Radnički and they managed to go ahead to a 3-0 victory against us. No, I'm joking, of course not. Yeah, they went 3-0 up and then we scored 6. Yeah, that was good. I was really impressed. That was really nice. But unfortunately, we're taking on Chelsea. Like I said, we're missing some players. And that's why I decided to make a quick tweak for our tactics, because we're gonna go like this. I'm thinking this is going to be a very, very good narrow tactic that we play because we have so many decent, incredible players in the midfield. We have lots of attacking players as well. And by having 2 players up front and no one else, that's missing out 1 good player. And at the same time, we have very, very good midfielders, so we can afford to play it like this. So we're going to have Hudikov in goal. On the left, we're going to have Aitnuri as a wingback on attack. He's going to have so much space to play there. Milinkovic and Zabarny in the midfield. We're going to have Foyth on the right-hand side, being the wingback on support, because obviously he's not the most attacky player, but he's also quite good at it. Tim will be the ball-winning midfielder here. Martinelli on the right-hand side will be the box-to-box midfielder that he is. Stamenic is going to be a Cariello, where he's going to be helping out, covering for Aitnuri whenever he inevitably shoots up. Up front, we're going to have Deans as a shadow striker, and then leading the line will be Moyanta and Saldania as a poacher, just to basically see if these 3 players can add a little bit more pressure, because like I said in previous episodes, we are quite often very, very deep instead of being very much up front, which is slightly annoying. In terms of everything in possession, obviously, we're playing down the middle. We're having passing directions just basically narrow because we're trying to play out from a press, which will be very tough. Express our freedom because we like to give our players freedom. In transition, very, very normal stuff. And out of possession, high press, and that's pretty much it. I think it'll be quite good for us. Maybe it's a bit balanced. I've had good experience with this, obviously, in the low leagues. And once again, we are tweaking the system. So, you know, we need to keep making changes. Something eventually will stick. I want to have a game where I'm dominating the big teams, and we'll see if this is going to be one of them. However, Chelsea's a crazy side led by a crazy Mauricio Pochettino, who's finally starting to get some wins, both in real life and in this save. They're currently 7th, but I think we checked last time. They're 7th by like, well, okay, to be fair, they're 7th by a few points, so that's fair enough, I guess. But they're a very good side. And as you can see, they have a lot of players here, highly rated, all of them. Do we know anyone who's kind of a big name that they've signed in a long time? Florian Wirtz is the only kind of big name that I can see right now that's been signed for them. And anyone else that's kind of interesting? Romelu Lukaku is still playing. That's hilarious. But will he start for them? Well, I guess we're going to have to find out. I think Pochettino will have absolutely no idea what to do with our tactic because they wouldn't have expected it because we haven't tried them. It was literally a very recent thing that we've come up with. And no, Lukaku's not starting. And Kunku, Mudryk, Gonzalez, Wirtz, Gallagher, Fernandes. So it's going to be fun to kind of play because it's going to be 3 midfielders against 3 midfielders. But hopefully it's going to be 3 players from our attacking phase into 2 of their centre-backs, which will be very, very good to play. And the issue will be is that our fullbacks may be a little bit overwhelmed by the overlaps. But we'll see what happens. It's a new tactic. We're playing at home. I want to go for gung-ho football, and you will appreciate that as well. What you won't appreciate, however, is an injury to Saldania in the first 3 minutes of the game. What did he do? He hurt his thigh, which is absolutely annoying. And this means that Juan David Viveiros will play as the poacher that he kind of is. I think he'll be very good in that position. Obviously, he's got no legs, although his acceleration and pace is improving, which is good. But his finishing is awesome. He can't dribble at all. And I think this will be quite good for him. Off the ball is great. Passing is very, very good, which is weird. I didn't actually realize he's that good at passing, so maybe he should be in this position instead of Deans. But for now, we don't have Saldana. We don't have a big game player. Hopefully the other guys can step up. I'm just thinking how funny it must be for Zabarny, because the guy joined as a player in the Champions League and is now playing 4 different tactics in his first 4 Champions League games, which is absolutely incredible, as they are breaking away from us, as Foyth makes a really bad pass to Nkunku, and he is going to try and get for him. He steals the ball from the back. The players do have time to come back, and fortunately we have lined everyone up, but it doesn't matter because Mudryk is rapid, and Foyth brings him down, but as you can see, that was definitely outside the box. Well done by Foyth. He's done everything to stop Nkunku, who's rapid, and then he did a perfect tactical foul to stop Mudryk outside the box. I am convinced it's outside the box. Do we trust me? The answer is, of course you trust me. Guys, come on. I know this game. I've played this game for ages. You've watched me play this game for ages. Will Juan Foyth get a yellow? He doesn't even get a booking. The man is a GOAT. This is how you win the Champions League. But in my understanding, to win the Champions League, you kind of need to score goals, unless you're Portugal in the Euros of 2016, when they've drawn every single knockout stage. And basically, the only game they won was the final. And even then, that was after extra time, so it doesn't really count as a win. Kinda. I don't know how they counted it. I guess if you want to prove something right, just find a stat that proves it. But what we're trying to prove right now is that tweaking and being the Tinkerman that I am is a worthwhile thing to do, because we are playing against teams that are better. They have huge budgets. They have huge players. And we are playing against a team that is very good, and I'm biased because I love them, despite the way that we've been playing this season. It's, Heart Attack City. But we are going to be playing it out the back quite comfortably, and I do like the short passing thing. Are we the Barcelona of ye olde times? Is Stamenic, is Tim, and it is Martinelli, the Javi, Iniesta, and Busquets play? Kinda, as Moyanta finds himself in lots of space. Squared! Moyanta! 1-0. I genuinely thought, because the way that this would work in real life is that Moyanta should square it to Viveiros. And the way that FM is, if he doesn't square it, going 2-on-1 against the player, he would miss. Fortunately, FM did not screw me over. That's a beautiful play. Martinelli finds Foyth. Foyth finds Moyanta. 3 players in the box, and absolutely nothing Onana can do. And we're 1-0 with a new tactic. Come on! I'm just happy. And at the same time, I just realized I'm celebrating against my favorite team. Oh my god. What did you guys do to me? I like Partizan more than Chelsea. And anyways, with that massive bombshell, it's time for me to do a nice team talk. I think we're doing extremely well. If I'm going to break down everything that I can see at the halftime, can I actually even? Everything looks good. We're making chances. Obviously, our XG is good because we scored, obviously. But possession is good. We're having lots of shots. They're not having anything dangerous. And our only big worry is that Juan Foyth is on a yellow, but at the same time, Chilwell is on a yellow. So we should probably attack that place at the same time. But for now, everyone's playing good. Everyone's getting used to this formation. Could this be the way to go from now on? And it's now the 72nd minute and nothing has happened. The good thing is, as you can see by our heat map, we're actually having players that are pushing up, which is really, really nice. But at the same time, we're not kind of, having too many chances. So what can we do with this? We've made 1 sub already. As you remember, Saldana got injured. I'm going to try Viveiros as a deep line forward, or maybe even better, as a complete forward on support, because like you guys said, it works a little bit better. Maybe he can kind of use some of this passing to actually influence the play. But at the same time, he's also tired. So maybe this was all for nothing. And maybe I should just put Popovic in as well. He's a bit injured, but apparently the game thinks he'll be absolutely fine to play. But the most important thing is that we may need to make some subs in the midfield. So we're going to put Villagra on, I think, in the midfield. We're going to also drop Deans for Stamenic and put in a hero, Estevao, who is a Brazilian international, which is absolutely insane. And also, do we make a sub for Tim? Potentially. I think this will be a good shout. Just get some fresh legs out there. And Juan Foyth is tired. So I think we will put Gilson or Teklak. Let's put Teklak on the right-hand side. I think this will be good. We're making all of our 5 subs now. We're making our subs early. And I say we're making 5 subs. We're only making 4 just because we made 1 sub earlier. I think this will work. So far, it's kind of solid enough to give us enough, flexibility. As you can see, Team Fluidity is flexible to push up. But at the same time, it's solid enough to hold teams off. But it's also the first game I've played this. So am I just getting carried away? Viveiros finds himself on the right-hand side, despite the fact he's a complete forward on the left. Wild. I mean, that's what happens when you have a position that makes you roam. Very dangerous pass to Zabarny, and if it was St. Just, it would have gone absolutely nowhere. Deans finds James, who I guess Deans wants to play for Chelsea. Fair enough. He got confused there for a second. James will run away. Will we have a counterattack as Diaby, the rapid Diaby, passes to Fofana, who finds James, and that right-hand side is stacked. As Deans passes it back, there's no one's capable of having a single pass. We have the ball at the end of it. Moyanta finds Estevao, who's a Brazilian international, who puts it away, and he shows us why he's the place for the Brazilian national team. Did Estevao stray offside? Did Estevao stray offside? Did Estevao stray offside? Please, please. He did. But by how much? How close was this call? Beautiful pass by Moyanta, just a little bit early. Beautiful run from Estevao, but a beautiful play from the Chelsea defense as well. And it's a very quiet game in terms of shots and goals, and in terms of highlights as well. And obviously, our players are feeling the amount of games they're having to play. So rotation is going to be key. We have a next game in 2 days, so I'm just going to have to play that off camera, of course. But it's insane how these guys are just... They're going to be absolutely bullied in every single game. We might actually lose a game in the Serbian Super League if this keeps up, because, you know, the Champions League is more important. And, you know, we want to go unbeaten, but at the same time, I want to go far in the Champions League. And we will. Okay. Juan David Viveiros, on a complete forward role, scores after an assist from Ait Nouri. And this is what happens when you sign world-class players, because world-class players do world-class things. I did not expect this to come for nothing, because Ait Nouri made a beautiful low cross, finds Viveiros, and Onana and, who was it? Fofana? Could do nothing about it. It's 2-0, and Chelsea is being blown away by this new little formation that we have done. But there's still a lot of things to play. As Sakamoto steals the ball, finds Estevao, beautiful 1-2 with Moyanta. He gets brought down by Chilwell, and that's a red card. I told you at halftime, we need to bully Chilwell, and we have. And 2-0, we have some more time to go. If we score a third goal, that will pretty much kill the tie. And I shouldn't be celebrating the win against my favorite team so much, but this is a momentous occasion. This was comfortable. This was more comfortable than against PSG. Because PSG played back in the second half, and we've just scored 2 goals in the second half. Estevao. Guys, can I remind you that I've signed him for like 18k? You've reached the stage of the episode where I am genuinely speechless. Estevao with, I think, what could have been a double, and an Ait Nouri with 2 assists in the second half leads to a massive domination of Chelsea, where we've been absolutely incredible up front. And I can say that another tactical change has led to another tactical win. I am the greatest football manager. Pochettino's got nothing on me. Chelsea, you know who to call. Who are you gonna call? MrSpaceman. However, we still have to survive the next 6 days, because we play 2 games in those 6 games. And we don't have our world-class striker of Saldania. He is injured. I could risk him to make him go through injections, but I don't really like to do that. And at the same time, Popovic and Milovanovic are coming back from injury, so hopefully Saldania won't be missed that much. But this is insanity times 2, because we managed to beat Chelsea 3-0 at home. We need to be careful, because obviously at Stamford Bridge, they can smash us. They're a massively good side, but we need to make sure we survive the game against... Who is it? Radnik. It's a Serbian Cup quarterfinal. I'm going to play it off camera, and I'll see you for the Chelsea game in a bit. So it turns out that we have survived this grueling schedule, and we managed to beat Radnik 4-1. And the most important thing out of all of this is that every single key player that played in the game against Chelsea is fit enough to play again. I'm afraid to see what their risk of injury is. High, low because he's a keeper, normal because he's rotated, normal because he's rotated. Okay, high and heavy match load. Okay, Moyanta does run a lot. So I guess we're actually in quite a good position to take on Chelsea today. But are they in a good position to take on us? Chilwell is suspended and Nicolas Gonzalez is suspended, so they're missing 2 massive players. But from our side, we aren't really missing them, so that's kind of good. In terms of everything else, I'm going to have to make one decision. And that is, do I bench Lachlan Deans or do I play Estevao? I don't know for now. The choices for me are kind of interesting. Do I go for someone a little bit more defensive or do I go for a player that's changed the lineup? I think, because if I take off Estevao, my thought process is I can put Deans in the midfield somewhere, but Martinelli is very, very good defensively. Stamenic is very, very good defensively. But we also have Tim. I'm going to risk Lachlan Deans as a box-to-box because I like him. He'll add some creativity in the back, and I want Estevao and Deans to play together. And Martinelli could probably use a little bit of a break. So with that in mind, we have a pretty much settled lineup. We have Hudikov in goal, Ait Nouri, Milinkovic, Zabarny, and Foyth, who's developing into a very good right-back option, despite the fact that I bought him as a centre-back. Tim in the midfield, Stamenic and Deans in the triple midfield role. And up front, our triple up front role is Estevao, Viveiros, and Moinata. And this time, Viveiros will just start on his complete forward role because this guy has started to score goals out of nowhere. Yeah, he's done what Estevao has done in the previous episode where, well, I say previous episode, in the previous years where he's done nothing and then suddenly exploded, which makes me happy. So, how will Chelsea adapt to losing two massive players and how will they adapt to our tactic? And so Chelsea will adapt and try to beat us by going slightly more attacking. They've gone for a 4-2-3-1. And they've put Diaby on the right-hand side and Paez on the left. That's a lot of pace, especially if you take into account the fact that, what's his face? I forgot his name already. He plays for Chelsea, plays up front. That Nkunku is also extremely rapid. I mean, 3-0 is a massive, massive victory against them at home for us, but we're playing at Stamford Bridge. And whilst I'm happy to be there, obviously as a Chelsea fan, I'm also a bit scared because it's a good stadium, they're playing at home, and Chelsea is usually good at home, and hopefully that doesn't mean that we lose 3-0 or 4-0 or 5-0 even, and then we go out, which will be very tragic. But we do have a chance straight away as we lost our chance, but Zabarny collects it. Can you find someone? He finds Moyanta, who finds Juan Foyth, who runs down the right-hand side. Is he going to cut in? He doesn't. He chooses himself. Juan Foyth is showing us why he's a Champions League winner. Because he's taken the role to himself. And in the third minute, we go 1-0 up against Chelsea, which means 4-0 on aggregate. I have created a monster. I mean, Lachlan Deans is going to hopefully do something incredible. He hits the post. And of course, you're not going to see a free kick goal. What do you think this is? At what point do we just start party? Just start the freaking party. This team is something special. I'll tell you, this team is special. And you can clip this because this year we're winning the freaking Champions League. You can quote me on this. Please don't, because I don't know if you have the strength for it. But so far in the 20th minute, we're having chance after chance. Ait Nouri, guys, please, if that went in. All right, if that went in, that's it. You just give us the trophy right now. Don't need to bother playing the semifinals and finals. It's just a victory easy. So far, 41st minute, and that's their first highlight, and it hits the post as well, and Juan Foyth, man, the best signing that we have done, it's not Tim, it's Juan Foyth, has come up clutch. He scored a goal, and he's cleared off the line, and he's playing as an absolute GOAT, but we've reached the half-time, and there are some issues here, because as you can see, despite the fact that we're 2-0 ahead, our XG says we shouldn't even be 1 ahead, which is wild, and we're having lots of chances, but so are they. And most importantly, they have more possession. So more of the same for us. We're currently winning 5-0 on aggregate. So I think there's no need to panic. They're not going to score 5 goals in the second half. And if they are, yeah, it'll make a very fun short. But for as much as I like free, fun content, at the same time, I also want to progress in the Champions League, despite the fact we're playing my favorite team. And Lachlan Deans agrees. And Lachlan Deans has hit the post again. If every single shot that we've done that has hit the post would have gone in, I think we would have been absolutely doubling or tripling our scoreline already, because that was another beautiful shot. Onana is scrambling everywhere, and Chelsea is not winning this game. That is it. I think Chelsea's done. Unfortunately, Estevao is not having a good game, so I'm going to probably sub him off just to kind of have some fresh legs. And I'm going to bring on some players to kind of get fitness back. So Estevao is going to be the first one to come on, I think. And I think potentially it'll be good to give Ait Nouri a break. And I think obviously Sakamoto is going to come on instead of Tim, just to kind of get some game time as well. Teklak instead of Zabarny. We're going to put Foyth as the ball-playing defender because Foyth has deserved to finish this game. And I'll keep one more sub in case Chelsea goes on a late run and smashes like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 goals in, and then it's panic stations, because I don't want to look stupid in front of you, despite the fact I frequently do. As Guindo finds some space on the ball, finds Mudryk on the ball, finds Caicedo, who finds Lavia in the middle, who does not find the back of the net. And Chelsea are just not doing good today. And unfortunately, as a Chelsea fan, and for all of you beautiful Chelsea supporters there, Partizan is going to win. I am probably more happy that we won than Chelsea. And like I said, what have you guys done to me? As a Chelsea fan, this is insane. The fact that I love Partizan more is now kind of funny. Yeah, that's the beauty of Football Manager. But with that in mind, we'll make one final sub. And I think we're going to put Gilson on instead of Foyth. Give him a standing ovation because the guy deserves it, and finish this game on a high. I mean, technically, we've had the same stats as them. They probably deserve to win more. But we managed to beat Chelsea 5-0 on aggregate, and we are much better than them. And I said this tactic works, and oh yeah, it does. Oh yeah, it freaking does. We pushed them all the way back. They could do nothing, and this is incredible. 2-0, we've kept 2 clean sheets against Chelsea in the semi-final. Not in the semi-final, the quarterfinal. Let's not get carried away here. We're playing Paris Saint-Germain, guys. Next episode, we're playing Paris Saint-Germain, which will be on the 26th of April, which is in 15 days. Which means we're skipping this game against Crvena Zvezda, unfortunately. I don't want to play it, if that's okay with you. Because we have a massive game against Paris Saint-Germain, and this time we get a little bit more time for a break. Although that being said, we're playing Crvena Zvezda in 5 days. We're playing India in, how many days? 8 days. And then that's just a lot of games in April. Who decided that this is the way that the Serbian Super League is going to go? They should be fired, because they're doing everything they can to make sure we lose the Champions League. We're playing Paris Saint-Germain again in the next episode. That is going to be incredible. My mind's blown. I hope you guys enjoyed this. We made another tactical change. I think this will be the tactic that we go for the rest of our lives. I mean, he says, until we lose the next game and I panic and tweak everything. But it worked wonders against Chelsea twice for you guys, which is incredible. I just need to work on it a little bit more, get the intensity, get the familiarity up and up and up. And then we can smash every single team, considering the fact that maybe a lot of these players will go because so many players are wanted again, and Chelsea wants Tim. I want Tim. Anyways, I hope you had a nice episode. Let me leave you on some famous words from Pochettino. Chelsea did not deserve anything. I agree. I hope you agree, and I'll see you guys in the game where we'll hopefully see that PSG does not deserve to be in the freaking final of the Champions League. We're back at it again. We're back for double semi-finals in 2 years. I think this project is incredible. Bye, guys.